Have you ever wanted to hand your players a secret message that had a magical way of transforming that your players could actually see? If so, this video is going to be for you. Hi guys, this is DM Dunn. Today, I'm going to show you how you can make an amazingly awesome and very impressive secret message that transforms in front of the eyes of your players. If this doesn't impress them, then you should probably get some new players because this is pretty cool. So the first thing you got to do is you just go and order yourself on Amazon. I'll put a link in below or wherever you want to get these friction pens. Now, you don't get just erasable ink pens. You need these friction ones because it's the friction and the heat of the friction is what is going to make this ink disappear on the paper that you use. So, next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab some regular ink pens, and you want to try to get the same color, black, and the same thickness of line, which is where I messed up on this one. This said fine, and when I grabbed this, I thought it said fine, but it says super fine. So just make sure they're both fine or medium or whatever it is. Make sure that they match up so that they're less likely to notice the difference. Now all you have to do at this point is just take and figure out what is your permanent message, the secret part that's going to be left behind, and use the normal pen for that. And everything else you write it with the friction pen. Then whenever you're ready, you have your message on your piece of paper, and if they take a lighter, if you stay tuned to the end, you'll see my version. It'll take a lighter or a candle and put that flame up to it, and then all of the friction ink will disappear, leaving the message that you wrote in your permanent pen. And that is what's going to make it really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys today what I used and my version of it. So you'll adjust it to match whatever it is that your guys are going through, your team is campaign that they're going through, or whatever their situation is, adjusting it accordingly. But I'm also going to show you the details of mine. So at the time that I decided to do this, my team, it's actually girls and guys, my team was actually going through the Horde of the Dragon Queen, and we were going to convert right into the Rise of Tiamat because we were going to do both of them together. Now, if you've ever seen this or played it, then you know at the end of the Rise or the end of the Horde of the Dragon Queen, it basically is ambiguous, and it tells you, as a DM, figure out how you're going to get your team to go back to Waterdeep to start the Rise of Tiamat. And this is what I decided to use. So what I did is I got a letter, and it is actually stamped by all 5 of the factions. And then it's got a nice generic message on here, but actually when Hita was applied to it, it revealed a secret hidden message that was pretty cool, and you'll see the reactions later as well. And so a couple of things that I did for this is, one, I just got, instead of just standard white paper and putting tea or coffee and staining it, I actually just purchased this paper, and I'll put a link in the description below where you can get it as well. It comes with, I think, 5 different versions, and it's already colored, so you can, get one pack of that and it'll last you a long time. And then just kind of crumpled it up and made it look more worn. And what I also did is I practiced first. So what I did is I actually wrote the message out and trying to put in my secret message at the same time. So that's what took me a little bit of time and a little bit of brain power to try to get that accomplished. Then once I had that, then I printed it out on a normal piece of paper in a really cool font that I liked. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to use the printed version for the secret map that or the secret message that I was going to have them. But I was able to sweet talk my wife into trying to hand write and try to hand copy that entire message, this entire letter, onto this piece of paper. But what it made it easier for her to do was she had the printed version, and she just was able to copy line by line. She, with pencil, drew some lines across lightly so that she could make sure that they were straight, and then we erased those lines very carefully afterwards, because if you erase too hard, then your special ink will disappear also. So we were very careful to do that. Now, from the 5 factions, I also wanted to have these wax seals on the bottom. And what I was able to find was on Thingiverse. I have a neighbor that has a 3D printer. I don't have one yet. But he was able to print me these 5, and these are printed in reverse, logos for the 5 factions. The reason they're printed in reverse is so that when you stamp it into the wax, it goes back to the correct direction. And so I wanted to have the different color for each of the different 5 factions. So again, Amazon is our friend. I went on Amazon and I bought some sealing wax. And this was, I don't know, like 10 bucks. But I'll put the link in the description below if you wanted to. But these are the colors that I needed. I needed these 5 colors. And this pack was the only one that had the actual colors that I wanted. And you'll notice that the pink one is pretty small because the pink one is the one that I used to practice on first. And I would recommend doing that before you do it on your original document that you're planning on handing your players. So that's why this is so short, because I practiced all five of these. Now these are also on wooden dowel rods that I just cut, because when it printed, it just printed the circle, and then I just hot glued these onto some dowel rods. And now I had something that I could press and try to pull them off. So you're gonna wanna press them in, wait for the wax to cool, and then slowly try to peel it off. And I will forewarn you that the Harper one is going to be the most challenging, because it's got so many little details inside of there that the wax tends to kind of get stuck inside of it and pull it out. So, but after you practice a couple times, you'll be able to figure it out as well. And so this is what I had right there. And then, once I had it all rolled up, I thought another way, instead of just putting another wax seal on the outside, I actually just took some ribbon and I just got a glue stick and I glue sticked it to the length of the paper so that I could just simply tie it together and make it look a little bit more fun and a little bit more fancy for the players, like so. Now the really neat thing is that once this was all done, what I had is I had a Harper slip this into one of my players' belongings. Sleight of hand worked, and he didn't realize this until they were already inside of the floating ice castle. But he found this in his belongings, he opened it up, and they all read it. And this is basically just a letter that's telling them, hey, there's a big old party in Waterdeep. We need everybody to come from far and near. Come check us out. It's going to be really, really awesome. But then whenever the final line says, don't be shy about heating things up. And that was their clue, to try to heat this up and put some flame to it without actually burning the paper. And when they figured that out, I had a candle on the table, but I also pulled out a lighter, and I was like, okay, so here you apply some heat to it using the candle. And then you'll see as the words actually just start to disappear. Now, if you're looking at this right now, some of the words look a little bit faded, because once you erase this ink, you can put this paper back to cold. I put it in the freezer for a while, and then that ink reappears, but it's a little bit more faded. So this is my original document that I did, and that's why it looks a little bit faded, because I've already tried to bring it back by putting it in the freezer. But I'm gonna put the video in so that you guys can see the reaction, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Lemon juice. Oh, secret message.
Oh, that's awesome.
To prevent the great evil from rising, all 5 factions must join together. Meet in Waterdeep for important meeting. Travel with haste and stay safe.
That's cool.
Pretty nifty.
Does it come back? That's very cool.
That is awesome.
Pretty nifty.
And if you can do something like this for your players, it really increases the fun, and it really brings the wow factor out. And that's really what it gets me excited, and what I enjoy is my players being able to go, wow, that was really awesome. So guys, If you liked the video, do us a great big favor. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like. We definitely appreciate everybody to subscribe. And what really helps us out, if you do want to get any of these items, click our Amazon link below and it'll get you to Amazon. Then you'll do your login before you check out. You can get these items or anything else that you possibly could use. And it gives us a little bit of help for getting you to Amazon. So we'd appreciate that as well. You can also help us by becoming a Patreon, which is really awesome. We appreciate anybody who's be willing to give us a little bit of monthly help is also much appreciated. Hey guys, thank you so much. And until next time, have more D&D fun with DM Done.